Son, look at Kiss
Can
My
you kiss your
Son.
tie?
I can kiss my son.
Yeah,
That's Jaden. Come on.
Will Smith kissed his son Jaden on the mouth. On camera, Jaden didn't lean in. The clip went viral and never left the internet. Now Jaden's speaking out quietly in fragments, away from press tours. And every detail circles back to one man his father trusted for decades. Let's break it down. The man who knew too much. It all started not with Jaden or Jada, but with Bilal Salam, better known online as Brother Bilal. He claims nearly 40 years of friendship with Will, from Philly streets to Hollywood sets. Not just a friend, he says he knew every secret, every skeleton. He even appeared in Will's 2021 memoir and photos, worked on projects behind the scenes, and was allegedly the keeper of the family's deepest truths. Then, in 2021, the Smiths asked him to sign an NDA. Bilal refused. That's when things got messy. According to him, the fallout began at Will's 53rd birthday in Calabasas. He claims Jada approached him with 7 people, got verbally aggressive, and threatened him with, "You'll end up missing if he spoke about the family." That one night became the foundation for a lawsuit that landed in LA Superior Court 4 years later. Once the NDA door closed, the interview door swung wide open. November 2023, Bilal sat with Tasha K on Unwind with Tasha K. He didn't hold back, claiming he walked in on Will in an intimate act with actor Dwayne Martin while holding keys to Dwayne's dressing room because he was helping him out. The description went viral in hours. Will's reps called it unequivocally false, Dwayne's team denied it, but Jada went nuclear. She addressed it head-on on The Breakfast Club.
It's ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense. And this is a person that tried a shakedown, a money shakedown that didn't work.
She called it a money grab, plain and simple. No sugarcoating. She mapped out the timeline right there on camera.
There was a money shakedown prior?
Oh yeah, it was a money shakedown.
They tried to extort you before?
Well, it's based around this person's idea that they in some way were doing business around Will's book.
According to Jada, Bilal thought he deserved money from Will's memoir. He claimed he'd contributed, spent cash, and wanted compensation.
And that they spent money or what have you, and that they needed to be compensated. So he already tried to do this money shakedown. Will was willing to give him a certain amount or what have you, and he didn't take it.
But here's the chaos. While the Smiths called it extortion, Bilal didn't back down. December 2023, The Art of Dialogue, he dared Jada to sue him in 2 weeks. He threatened to name people involved in secret gatherings, hinted at undisclosed affairs, accused Jada of cheating on Will with multiple celebrities, though he didn't drop names. He framed her threats as a long-term pattern. When asked about Will's reaction, Jada delivered the most Will Smith answer possible.
Because of some business that they had, and I don't know the complete details about it, but that's about to come out. Will's always gonna find the funny.
I figured that.
Yeah, he's always gonna find the funny because it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And so all you have is you just gotta laugh about it, you know?
They laughed about it, she said. The family found Bilal's story ridiculous, but Bilal kept pushing through 2024 and 2025 more interviews, more claims. He said he saw Will grab Alfonso Ribeiro inappropriately at a Fresh Prince reunion, accused Will of public humiliation, claimed their friendship was misrepresented despite memoirs and photos proving closeness. He accused the Smiths of extortion, noting Jada's lawyer sent cease and desist letters and reported him to the bar. The 7th of November 2025, Bilal filed a $3 million lawsuit against Jada in LA Superior Court. Intentional infliction of emotional distress, defamation, harassment. He centered the 2021 Calabasas party, claiming Jada's threats caused severe anxiety, lost work, and public humiliation. Smiths called it a money ploy. Jada's filings noted she'd never mentioned Bal publicly. February 2026, she moved to dismiss under California's anti-SLAPP law. After depositions, including her sworn testimony, the judge dismissed the case, finding insufficient evidence for a permanent restraining order. Bilal hinted at suing Will next. Online, people are split. Whistleblower exposing a protected family or disgruntled ex-friend chasing fame. No independent source has confirmed his claims, no lawsuits beyond threats. The Smiths' line remains: lies, money, nonsense. But Bilal's most disturbing claim wasn't the Dwayne Martin allegation, it was a pattern. Will allegedly crossed physical boundaries repeatedly. Pair that with Jaden's own stories growing up, and the picture shifts. He described Will pulling down his pants to embarrass him, inappropriate touching of Alfonso Ribeiro, a household where boundaries were blurred and adult behaviors exposed to children. Public clips resurfaced. Will kissing Jaden on the mouth, photos analyzed under a darker lens. TikTok accounts dissected the Smith kids' upbringing, framing Jaden and Willow as casualties of parental choices. The household philosophy? Radical honesty. No secrets, no barriers between adult life and children. Will admitted in 2025 it led to disrespect. The damage, though, was decades in the making. 2013 Guardian interview criticized Will's intense philosophical approach. Jaden pushed into acting and music pre-puberty, framed as the next Will Smith before he could even choose his path. Willow faced scrutiny too. A 2010 photo sparked outrage. Jaden's gender-fluid fashion drew ridicule. Both children pressured under fame, their parents' intentions lost in translation. Then came the August Alsina situation. Not random, it involved Jaden's friend, who became romantically involved with Jada during her separation. Publicly confirmed on Red Table Talk. Will said there were no secrets, but the internet exploded. Jaden witnessed his friend entangled with his mother on global TV. TikTok recaps went viral again. By June 2025, Jaden allegedly struggled with drugs. Will admitted to parenting mistakes, a confession framed by years of radical honesty, blurred boundaries, exposure to adult life, and lack of structure disguised as freedom. October 2024, Jaden posted on X claiming he was just being himself, but the internet read it as a hint of deeper trauma. The scrutiny spread beyond the family. Zoe Kravitz's old comments about Jaden were reframed as inappropriate. 2022 Oscars slap backlash resurfaced, questioning Hollywood's double standards. July 2025, Spanish media reported Jaden making a shocking confession about Will. Details sparse, but it fueled speculation he was revealing his father's behavior. Comedians like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle allegedly incorporated the Smith saga into their 2026 sets, sharpening the public spotlight. Drama was always part of the Smiths' world, but suddenly, the story around Will Smith wasn't just about the Oscars slap or celebrity entanglements. People were piecing together a bigger picture, a pattern of behavior, and at the center of it all was Jaden. Not because he was pointing fingers, but because his life was living proof. The whispers about an open marriage only added fuel. Back in 2013, Jada said in a HuffPost Live interview, "You can do whatever you want as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror." Later, she clarified on Facebook, framing it as a trusting relationship, not swinging. But that same year, intimate photo booth shots from Focus surfaced Will and Margot Robbie close, playful, undeniable chemistry. Both denied anything happened, yet Reddit exploded, debating whether this confirmed an open arrangement. Later, Will told GQ they had explored non-monogamy after hitting marriage lows. So it wasn't tabloid fiction, the Smiths themselves confirmed it. Now, picture growing up in that house. Jaden didn't have to imagine. A father whose former best friend claims he had no physical boundaries. A mother involved with his friend. Parents openly living a non-traditional marriage. A parenting style that tore down every wall between adult life and childhood. And a public eye that never blinked. Jaden's October 2024 post, where he addressed being called weird, kept resurfacing into 2026. No longer seen as a quirky young man defending himself, people read it as a survivor reclaiming his identity after growing up in a house where the rules didn't exist and cameras never stopped rolling. While Jaden left breadcrumbs, Jada was about to drop the whole loaf. On the 17th of October 2023, she released her memoir, Worthy, and it wasn't quiet. No gratitude lists, no morning routine fluff. It was raw confessions. Baltimore childhood, Hollywood rise, mental health, marriage, and the one relationship haunting Will since the 90s. The timing amid Bal's allegations going viral ignited a media firestorm the Smiths haven't escaped. Biggest bomb? Jada revealed she and Will had been separated since 2016. 7 years of living apart, keeping up appearances of unity, co-parenting, attending events together, but behind closed doors, the marriage was over. Reddit threads exploded. Why not divorce? Multiple reports say Will feared reliving his first marriage trauma with Cherie Zampino. So they stayed legally married, called it a life partnership, and let the world assume a traditional marriage. The memoir revisited the 2022 Oscars slap. Jada revealed she had a premonition, almost skipped the show, and described witnessing it as surreal. But the kicker? When Will yelled from his seat, calling her wife, it hit deep. They hadn't used those words in years. On live TV, he claimed her in the most aggressive way possible, stirring emotions from her 6-year-old self, the part still wanting protection. Suddenly, the slap wasn't just about defending her, it was a separated man asserting a title he hadn't used in years. Chris Rock saw the absurdity and mocked it in his 2023 Netflix special. Memes exploded. Jada went further, tracing back to Baltimore. Childhood trauma, parents struggling with addiction, selling drugs as a teen, meeting Tupac Shakur at the Baltimore School for the Arts. She called Tupac her soulmate, intense, platonic, yet a bond that fueled decades of Will's jealousy. Tupac allegedly proposed from Rikers Island in 1995, asking for stability. Jada declined. "Scout, you ain't have to marry me to do time. I'm here," Will admitted. Tupac haunted him, a ghost in their marriage he could never outrun. Even Willow felt it, writing a letter at 11 asking Tupac to return so her mum could be happy. The memoir also pulled back the curtain on Jada's mental health. Severe depression, suicidal thoughts around her 40th birthday, undiagnosed trauma, complex PTSD, dissociative disorder. She credited Mother Yah and an ayahuasca ceremony with shifting her life and her feelings toward Will. Will's public reaction? Surprisingly positive. He praised Jada's resilience and said he felt happier than ever. But the internet? Not so forgiving. Critics slammed the book as oversharing, psychobabble, and publicity-driven. Jada fired back. Life and marriage is messy. What most missed? The memoir wasn't just history, it was a map tracing the fault lines of this family. Tupac, the separation, the slap, the mental health struggles. Cracks papered over for public consumption, but real cracks running through a marriage that, on paper, still exists. A marriage outlasting scandals, allegations, confessions, yet looking less real with every revelation. Everything intersects. Bal's claims about Will's behavior, Jaden growing up in a house with no boundaries, Jada exposing the separation. At the center, the truth of the Smith family, complex, messy, unforgettable. Marriage of Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. A relationship that began on New Year's Eve 1997, and as of March 2026, still technically exists on paper, even though, by many accounts, neither person in it seems interested in keeping it alive anymore. Understanding this marriage is the key to understanding why secrets keep leaking, why former friends keep speaking out, and why the kids keep dropping hints that something in that household was never quite right. Will and Jada first crossed paths in 1994 on the set of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Jada auditioned to play Will's girlfriend but didn't land the part, reportedly because producers thought she was too short. The two began dating in 1995, the same year Tupac Shakur proposed to Jada while he was behind bars. By December 31st, 1997, Will and Jada were married. Jaden was born in 1998, Willow in 2000. From the outside, they looked like Black Hollywood royalty, two powerhouse entertainers building an empire together. But from the inside, according to both of their own memoirs, things were complicated almost immediately. Divorce rumors started early. By 2008, tabloids were already claiming the marriage was finished. In 2011, another wave of speculation hit. Will's 2021 memoir later revealed that during his first marriage to Cherie Zampino, he fell in love with his 6 Degrees of Separation co-star Stockard Channing, a moment that hinted at a pattern of emotional entanglements with colleagues. By the time he married Jada, that pattern didn't exactly stop. If anything, it just became more private. The first public crack came in 2013 with the open marriage speculation. Jada's comment on HuffPost Live, the photos of Will with Margot Robbie, and the follow-up clarifications that convinced almost no one. Then there was the 2016 separation kept secret for 7 years. Next came the August Alsina entanglement in 2020, followed by the now infamous Red Table Talk confession that turned the word entanglement into a cultural meme and left Will Smith looking like the most publicly embarrassed man in America. Then the Oscars slap in 2022. Then Jada's memoir in 2023. Every new chapter peeled back another layer, and each layer pointed to the same conclusion. This was not a marriage in any traditional sense. Recent reports have even described it as more of a business arrangement than a romantic partnership. The infidelity rumors have gone both ways. On Jada's side, the relationship with Alsina is confirmed. On Will's side, the allegations are broader but far less verified. Beyond Bilal's claims involving actor Dwayne Martin and questions about physical boundaries with colleagues, rumors about Will's bisexuality have circulated in Hollywood for years. A 2023 claim even linked both Will and Jada to certain private Hollywood gatherings tied to wider industry scandals. Will himself addressed non-monogamy in a GQ interview, saying that the two of them allow each other freedom. So the real question was never simply whether they cheated, it was what the rules actually were. And based on their own interviews, those rules seemed to change depending on who was speaking and when. Then there's the Scientology angle, which has never fully gone away. In the 2000s, Will and Jada opened a school that used study techniques developed by L. Ron Hubbard. The school eventually shut down in 2013. Records also show the couple donated $122,500 to organizations connected to Scientology back in 2008. Former Scientologist Leah Remini has claimed that Jada once tried to recruit her. Both Will and Jada have denied ever being members, with Jada briefly addressing the topic in interviews, saying she explored different philosophies but never joined the church. Still, the subject keeps resurfacing because it adds another layer to the image of a family that presented one face publicly while living something very different behind closed doors. TikTok breakdowns of the Smith family's alleged Scientology connections continue to pull in millions of views. But here's the thread tying everything back to the title of this video: Jaden. Jaden didn't just grow up in a marriage that may have been falling apart. He grew up right in the middle of every controversy we just talked about. His father's former friend claims Will had loose physical boundaries with people around him. Meanwhile, an old interview resurfaced where Jaden described his father pulling his pants down in front of others as a form of humiliation. The friend who later became his mother's entanglement was someone Jaden already knew. His father's jealousy over a deceased rapper reportedly shaped the emotional atmosphere at home. And the couple's philosophy of radical honesty parenting meant the line between adult chaos and childhood was practically non-existent. Jaden's public persona, the philosophical tweets, the unconventional fashion, the moments where he seemed disconnected, unfolded against the backdrop of a household that, by both parents' admission, wasn't functioning the way most people expected. In 2025, Will admitted publicly that he made what he called very terrible parenting mistakes. That same year, headlines surfaced about struggles in Jaden's personal life. Around that time, online outlets also pointed to criticism Will faced for an awkward on-stage interaction with a female performer during a live event. Another moment that critics added to a pattern they say people can't ignore anymore. According to those discussions, the pattern stretches from Bilal's allegations through stories from Jaden's childhood and continues popping up in different contexts today. Public reaction has been deeply divided, especially along gender and race lines. Many posts and threads online highlight the misogynoir in how the Smith marriage gets discussed. Jada often absorbs the majority of the backlash, while Will's alleged behavior receives far less scrutiny. She's labeled a narcissist, accused of emasculating her husband, blamed for the slap, the entanglement, the parenting style, the separation, basically everything. Meanwhile, Will often gets framed as the sympathetic figure, the guy who stayed, the man who got played. Critics call that framing completely unbalanced. They argue that Will's own admissions in his memoir, his jealousy, emotional affairs, and openness to non-monogamy should place equal responsibility on his shoulders. And when you factor in Bilal's claims about Will's behavior, the uneven scrutiny becomes even harder for some observers to defend. As of March 2026, no divorce has been filed. The Smiths are still legally married. Bilal Salam's lawsuit was dismissed, but he says he plans to file again, this time directly targeting Will. Jada's memoir remains the most detailed account of life inside the marriage, though it's still just one perspective. Will's memoir offers another version of events. And Jaden's perspective shared through scattered interviews, posts and moments the internet analyzes like clues continues, filling in the blanks both parents left open. The reality is simple. Nobody outside that family knows the full story. What the public knows comes from their own books, their interviews, and legal filings that became public record. But taken together, those pieces suggest that the Smith family was never quite what it appeared to be from the outside. Not the marriage, not the parenting dynamic, not the boundaries, not even the carefully crafted public image. Every time someone close to them speaks, whether it's Bilal, Jada herself, or Jaden in small fragments, the picture becomes clearer and a lot harder to ignore. So, the real question isn't whether Jaden exposed Will Smith. The real question is how much more is still waiting to come out. Because judging by everything we've seen so far, this story is far from finished.